Greetings, Local 2627 sisters and brothers. Today is Monday, May 14th, and I hope all you ladies out there, your mothers, grandmothers, had a wonderful Mother's Day. And I hope everybody had breakfast in bed. You had a foot rub, a back massage. You were taken out to dinner. You received flowers. I hope you all the trimmings. I hope all the guys did the right thing. All right, moving right along. Let me just give you the definition between provisional and permanent, because a lot of people seem to not understand that. I'm going to say it 3 times. The only way to become a permanent city employee is you have to take a test and be called from a civil service list. Let me repeat that one more time. The only way to become a permanent civil servant is to be called off of a list because you've taken a test. There's no other way to become permanent. Now, one of the things about being a provisional is that you do not get due process rights, meaning that we cannot defend you at your agency until you have 2 years of service. If you were a permanent employee, we could defend you immediately. If you are a non-compet, it takes you 5 years before you're supposed to have what they call due process rights. But the difference between a provisional and a permanent is that a permanent person took a civil service test and was called from was appointed from a civil service list. That's the only way you can become a permanent civil service. The mayor's budget. The mayor passed a budget, and I just want to highlight one particular item about it. There was no funding for contracts for 2012, 2013, or 2014 in the mayor's budget. There was funding only for 2015 and 2016, but the funding is only 1.25%. That's less than the 2% that they give in the last 2 years in the state contract. I think the mayor has finally lost his mind if he thinks that we're even going to tolerate something like that. If you have any type of hearings that are going on and you haven't talked to this office, you need to talk to us. If you can't get anybody, you called your rep, you can't get in contact with your rep. Remember, the reps are not sitting around here at DC 37. They're in the field doing hearings and meeting with members, so sometimes it's hard to get in contact with them. But remember, my phone is on 24/7. If you can't get in contact with a rep, give me a call, and I will make changes or do whatever I have to do in order to get in contact with this rep so he can talk to you if you have any type of problems. HRA Computer Use. HRA banned computer use for anything except HRA related business. They are allowed to do that. They cannot arbitrarily just pick out one unit, because remember earlier I had spoken to you about you're allowed to use to send out email or use the phone at your job to talk about union stuff or do union things. Well, this is yes, as long as they're not picking out just the union and saying you can't use it for union purposes. They'd have to ban it straight across the board. HRA banned it straight across the board, which is in their right. So you can only use the computers at HRA for HRA business. There's a housing fair coming up. There's one coming up on May 31st from about 5:30 to 7:30 on Wednesday. I believe it's on a Thursday, May 31st. And there's also a housing seminar on Wednesday, June 13th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. In both cases, there will be lenders there. They will explain to you if you're first-time homeowner how to go about it. There will be housing inspectors. The banks will be there. So it's something that you should really get into. Maybe you want to refinance your house. Maybe you need your house inspected. So this is good information. You should all come out who are thinking about buying. It could even be condos or co-ops. The information that will be there for you. Transit delays. Business Integrity Commission had banned people's notes or wouldn't accept people's notes for transit delays. It went to arbitration. The city had canceled the arbitration twice, and eventually that came through, and we won. The agency cannot go and violate the contract to make their own rules. Transit notes are acceptable. If you have a transit delay and you bring in your notes, your agency is supposed to accept it. Now, if anybody's having any problem with that, please call this office and let us see what we can do to take care of this. Good and Welfare this week, we had Natalia Chameleon from TRS. She's a grandmother again. Twin girls, and Dudley Dawkins his wife. He's one of our security staff, longtime security staff at DC 37. He lost his wife, and of course our sympathy goes out to him and his family. And we hope Natalia is enjoying her 2 new grandchildren. In solidarity. Until next week, make sure voting is getting ready to come up November. Get prepared. See you next week. Robert Ajayi.